How long's that?
Go.
Short answer questions. Question 1. The performance of catching the bouncing tennis ball was severely affected by sensory deprivation. Initial attempts at catching the ball unhindered with no loss of senses was very successful. However, once sight was lost using the blindfold, there were no consecutive successful attempts, and this progressed with the loss of hearing from the earplugs and also with the numbing of the hand with ice. And research, numerous journal articles support this theory. Question 2. The sense that aided my ability to perform the task the most was most certainly vision, or sight. I found that in the testing, once vision was gone, most attempts were unsuccessful. As I mentioned earlier, there were no successful consecutive attempts, and while it was possible to attempt to catch the ball reacting to the sound of the ball hitting the floor, there wasn't a significant difference between loss of sight and loss of hearing and the numbness of the hand. Certainly not as significant as the loss of vision was to initial successful attempts. I found that the majority of research seems to support this, with loss of vision being the key factor. Question 3. I think that while the success rate of performing the catching task would be higher if I was using my dominant hand, the difference in results would be marginal, as the removal of the senses would still have a debilitating effect, regardless of whether I was using my dominant hand to catch the bouncing tennis ball or my non-dominant hand. Once, as I mentioned earlier, once the senses are lost, catching the tennis ball becomes almost impossible. And although there would probably be more successful attempts using my favourite or more dominant hand, I still doubt that there would be successful consecutive attempts at catching it. And if there were to be successful consecutive attempts, I imagine there would only be a few. So the loss of sight predominantly, but also hearing and the numbness of the hand, would still have too big an effect to rule dominant hand use as a significant factor of non-dominant hand use. Question 4. I'm not a big cricket fan, so I can't profess to fully understanding or watching cricket matches in general. Excuse me. However, when I performed the test, I could understand, certainly when I was blindfolded, the importance of listening for the bounce of the ball, or in cricket, the sound of the ball coming off the bat, for example. But I think that from the matches I have seen, cricket fans can be boisterous and loud at times, and at other times completely quiet. So I don't think it would have a massive effect on a cricket player's performance. However, in a lot of other sports, especially in American football, crowd intervention plays a significant part in overall results, and I found a lot of research that would support this.